Y'all, we live in difficult times. There's war, political unrest, the pandemic, poverty, families being torn, communities ripped by gun violence and people dying every day. Police, injustice, it's all bringing so much pain. But y'all, we can look inside our minds and we can understand who we are, become better, and do this thing like we've never done it before. But it all starts with our mental health, and I know we can do it. I believe in you because I believe in me, and I believe in us. Darkness falls across the land. The midnight hour is close at hand. Creatures crawl in search of blood to terrorize y'all's neighborhood. And whosoever shall be found without the soul for getting down must stand and face the hounds of hell and rot inside a corpse shell. This is the Thriller Night. Listen, welcome to another episode of Therapy is Life, where thinking, feeling, and experiencing well-being is what we do. Of course, we're trying to finish up our stuff on sinners, and in this discussion, we want to talk a little bit about monsters. That's right, monsters. Yeah, the monster mash. The monster mash. The monster mash.
It was a dance for that.
The monster mash. The monster mash. The monster mash. The monster mash. All right, what's up, peep? How y'all feeling?
Peace, and love.
Y'all grooving today?
It's a
We
beautiful
grooving,
day.
man. Yeah, we still summertime vibing out here.
We
man.
summertime,
It's all good.
and I feel like we talking about October stuff in July.
Halloween, yeah.
Halloween. Hey, this episode we trying to get into the idea of the vampire, but I thought we would have some discussions about monsters in general. And I'm curious, man. Like this year, we're celebrating 50 years of Jaws. Do you consider Jaws to be a monster? Or do you consider sharks to be monsters?
Me personally, no.
Right.
I don't consider them to be monsters because they're of nature, man, and nature has a natural food chain. So I think in the food chain of sea life, they dominate. That's like if you ask, is a lion a monster? I don't consider a lion a monster. It's just in the food chain of animals. It can eat certain animals. So I don't know. When you think about monsters, I think about something in a different context.
Yeah.
So even though I know the movie definitely depicted Jaws as a monster, I ain't seen it since I was a real little kid, but. Me personally, I wouldn't consider Jaws a monster.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think like sometimes we create spaces for things to become monsters that we really have pushed into like a certain space.
Steven Spielberg, he said on one level he regretted that they did Jaws because it brought people's deepest fears about sharks to this overly exaggerated reality.
Yeah.
When I think they says there's only about 70 provoked shark attacks a year. Only 70 in the whole world.
Yeah, that's crazy.
To consider the fact, wow, man.
Yeah.
So people go in waters all the time and they swim around sharks and nothing may happen.
Nothing happens. Yeah.
Right.
True.
Yeah.
I still think you got to be cautious, though.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
and that, so I think it probably heightened the level of awareness around sharks for that type of thing to happen. But yeah, it's probably like plane crashes, right? Like how often do they happen? But when you see one on the news, it magnifies in your head, like every time I get on the plane, it might go down.
Right, right.
Like, so like every time you get in the ocean water, a shark is going to attack. It's not reality.
Right. Exactly. Just like you're probably more likely to get hurt walking than you are to die in a plane crash.
Yeah, very
Walking.
true.
Right.
Yeah, in the tub.
Or in the tub, yeah, than you are in a plane crash. But we don't think about it like that. This walking is safe.
Right.
Yeah, well, so look, some other monsters. What do you think about? What would you say about monsters like Godzilla and King Kong?
I feel like it's that same, almost that, like, it's depicted a certain type of way, right? But when you go in somebody else's environment, I feel like, anybody could really have the potential
To be a monster.
become a monster, right? You mess with my kids, you're going to see a different side of me.
Oh, for real?
What I mean?
Oh.
Like, you know what I mean? It could be characterized as monstrous, right? Like, when you act kind of out of character. So I feel like it's the same way, like, when we see these like depictions of, like, really, if we just left nature alone,
Right.
and let nature be nature, you know what I mean? We probably wouldn't even encounter some of these things, but it's like this exaggerated, like, oh yeah, let's turn this lizard into like this huge terrorist,
Right.
So I'm thinking about what you're saying. Like, it feels like with King Kong and Godzilla, they were trying to protect something. So do you think sometimes we define things as monsters simply because we don't understand them? We don't understand them. So, like, obviously Godzilla, he was trying to protect the earth.
Right.
King Kong was trying to protect a certain territory.
Right.
And man's, desire to explore and change things
Yeah.
led to their reactions. And Godzilla particularly, he was trying to protect humanity from all these destructive forces,
Right.
other beasts, and mankind itself.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So yeah, I look at those examples as like nature being provoked, right? Like if you had left it alone or allowed it to, it wouldn't have attacked in a monstrous way.
Right.
Where, and I don't know if you're going here with this, but like monsters like Freddy Krueger or Jason or
Michael Myers.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Okay, okay. So let's talk about how they are different from. So we think that King Kong and Godzilla, they're monsters because we don't understand them. Their size, their different, their uniqueness, and their power, and we can't really control them.
And they were provoked, and we were invasive.
Yeah,
you
we
know
were.
What I mean? So yeah.
So we going down there tearing up the rainforest.
Right.
And so these reactions, these creatures come from the rainforest that make us sick or intimidate us or hurt us. But we like, man, why are they there?
Right.
Because it's
see
like,
that.
we need to leave them alone.
Yep.
Yeah. Leave me alone in my average home.
Yeah.
Nah.
Rockwell.
Yeah, I can see that.
So when you talk about Jason, you talk about Freddy Krueger, what do you see with them?
I see them as more like, evil entities
Right.
that just have bad intentions. There's nothing necessarily heroic or like they're trying to preserve anything except for their own power. It's like power driven. It's something of a more satanic nature where it's just like bad intentions.
Don't all of them though have like origin stories that start with like some type of trauma or like something negative? You know what I'm saying?
So
Something happened to them. Okay, yeah,
You know what I mean? And then they like kind of morphed and kind of changed into something else, right?
Right.
And then they became like without a soul and power. You know what I mean? They're not power hungry.
And also,
Good point.
they're the people that hurt them or abused them. Those individuals, it was in their self-conscious, and it manifested itself: guilt, shame,
Yep. Yeah.
anger,
Right.
trauma,
Yeah.
and thinking they won't get away with something, but it was always there.
Yeah.
And so it came out in this sinister, really evil way. Jeez, this
unresolved trauma, right?
Unresolved.
That turned into
these monsters.
and, yeah, the monstrous tendencies that they took on.
Yeah. And we often want to look at monsters as being like really evil, but think about like the Joker. Like if you
Another good example.
you know, his origin story, how he evolved into that.
Right.
It was his social experiences, his interpersonal experiences that led him to becoming the Joker, because he had a condition. I can't think of the name of it, that where he would laugh.
Yeah.
And people would pick on him and joke on him, and he was awkward anyway.
Yeah.
And so he was internalizing all this negative stuff. You know what? One of my favorite ones to think about is from Wicked, Elphaba.
Oh.
Yeah.
Such a great rendition that came out. Oh my gosh, it was perfection. It was perfection. Yes, that is a great example. Like, it's a very clear path of like almost like the people that they almost like created a monster. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely
like
did.
that's what you label me as, and that's what I become.
So yeah, exactly.
You
So
know?
she became a monster number one from the moment that she was born,
Because she was different.
because she was different.
Yeah.
And you know what, so it's normal for human beings to have biases.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? Because when we're not familiar with something, we don't know what it is. We want to try to understand it, because that can be the difference between life and death.
Absolutely.
But once we become aware of something and we realize it's not a danger to us, then trying to move to a place of acceptance. For her, it never was truly acceptance. She was always the stepchild.
Yeah.
Right.
But seriously, Elphaba, she really played the role like perfectly.
Yeah.
She was emotionally abused. She became the stepchild, so she had to take care of her sister. And she only gets into school because she gets angry because of the way somebody's treating her sister.
Right.
And then she shows her ability. And then one of the teachers there is like, wait, hold on.
Right. And even that exploitation, like, who's really the monster? Those that exploited her for her abilities, or
her.
Right, her just being her natural. You know what I'm saying? She was gifted with the powers. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You know?
So they wanted to use up her resources. They wanted to use up her gifts and talents for their good. And when she saw their plan, when she saw what they was trying to do, and she like, nah.
Right. I was like, clock it, I got it.
I'm about to beat her for you.
Like,
Don't
then
worry
when she got ready to escape, they painted her as this evil witch.
Yeah.
Man.
After y'all done boxed her into a corner all this time, and you know, basically made her evolve into that.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, that was a great example.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah, it was, I mean, you know, and that one made me think of another one. You can't win. Hold means nothing. You can't get out the game. You can't win, child. You can't win, child. You can't win, child. You can't get out of the game. Oh shucks, boy. What's the three rules of the crows?
You got me on that.
Right. You win. Right.
Something like thou shalt not read. Thou shalt not read. Thou shalt not hope for anything. Thou shalt won't get down from this pole. So he was the monster, in a sense, the Scarecrow.
Scarecrow.
But really, he wanted to get up. He wanted to learn. He
Right.
wanted to be something with himself. But who was really the monster? Was it the crows or was it him?
I never really looked at the Scarecrow as a monster, though, man. I always had a level of sympathy for the Scarecrow in that movie. It was more so, like you said, the Scarecrows
Yeah.
for sure. Them little monkeys that was driving around,
Yeah.
man, like. They used to scare the mess out of me. Oh my goodness, man! And there's something about it though. As much as I used to be scared to watch that, I still was like infatuated with looking at it, man. Like,
Man, that movie
I
was
wanted
dope,
that
boy.
it was super dope.
Oh my
Super
gosh,
dope.
man, the wigs! Oh
Yeah,
my
but-
god! Like when they got to when they got to Oz, and the Munchkins, and they was like in the walls, and they came out like, oh my
Right.
god, that was so
Scared me
dope.
out my mind.
That scared you out your mind.
When they used to come out the wall out of nowhere on you, that used to terrify me, dog.
You had to watch it real young.
Man, I
You
was
had to be
like,
mad,
yeah.
Oh my
we came out,
God.
what, 79, something like that.
Yeah,
Born in
man.
82, so yeah, I watched it as a little kid.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
But
When
I
I
still wanted to watch it.
When I saw that movie, man, the way they came out the walls, I was like, this is so dope, boy. That was before breakdancing and all that, like, oh boy, they came out the room. Like,
Real smooth.
like real smooth. That joke was
I was like, no,
I was,
wait.
yeah, I'm under the cover, peeking with my eyes, like, let me know when it's over. You know what I'm saying? Yo.
No, I was fascinated.
Yeah, but
Y'all
seriously.
like scary movies.
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
do.
a scary movie type guy.
I like
never
scary
really
movies.
have been.
Oh, for real? So Sinners got you, didn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, them little scenes when, yeah.
Yeah. So
I still liked it though.
you still like it? You still like it? Yeah. So, man, honestly, thinking about monsters, man, I sometimes I wonder, like when you see like Elphaba, you see the Wiz, even think about it. I just recently saw Superman,
Okay.
and there was this vibe like he was this monster. We didn't understand him. He had done all these good things.
Okay.
Look. Who is this? We need to control this. You think about all the Marvel movies, there was always this desire to control the mutants.
Right.
Like, what's up? You're like,
That's true.
yeah.
True.
And that same level of not understanding them,
Yeah.
even though they had good intentions, because they didn't understand them, they would label them as some sort of threat to society.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think it goes further than just not being able to understand. I feel like people become threats when they can't be controlled too.
Mm.
You know what I mean? When I can't control your power, now you're a threat because I can't be in control of
Sure.
it.
Right. So
That's that storyline.
yeah. So Drew, you seem to have some awareness. So as long as you go over there and you just be that good boy and everything, and don't cause no trouble. Master been good to you, so you just go over there and do what you got to do. But you start talking too much,
You a threat.
you a threat.
Yeah. Absolutely.
God, you know what? With that being said, sometimes I think one of the greatest monsters is the illusions that we have about the level of comfort that we live with. I feel like it's a monster.
Yeah.
And it sits back and it waits. And when we go too far, we stand up too strong. That's when it shows its ugly head.
Absolutely.
And there's so many attempts to keep people in ignorance.
Yep.
And so the story of the monsters, like we talked about The Village before. Remember, we talked about The Village and this idea, this monster that everybody was afraid of, and they could send a blind girl out. We create monsters to keep us in a box. I'm in this box.
Yeah. Keep our comfort.
I'm in this box. I gotta stay in this box. So we create monsters so we can feel safe.
Agreed.
Agree.
Fear-based thinking.
Yeah,
is
absolutely.
that what you're connecting it to? Basically, like because we allow ourselves to, have this certain level of comfort and security. Thinking beyond that or outside of that box, is like a fear that we don't know of the unknown. Like we blanket ourselves around that sense of security and that sense of protection, but then outside of that box is like the unknown. So it gives us a certain level of fear and anxiety of the unknown because you don't want to lose what you know to be secure.
Right. So yeah. So the idea, the monster, is this force that, in a sense, keeps you safe
Yeah.
But as soon as you act outside of the will of it, it becomes something that will destroy you.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so we live in that space, and we know it exists. We know it will hurt us. So we try to maneuver in it as if it doesn't. And so we might say things or express our feelings or opinions, but we understand how far we can go because we know the monster might come. The traveler has come.
Right.
Well, we didn't choose a traveler. Yeah, Stay Puff Marshmallow Man coming down the street now.
Yeah. I mean, I can think about even within myself, like a monster. When you talk about how I can live within inside of you, you know, suppressing my anger sometimes, where I feel like anger is that monster, right? That sometimes that's maybe necessary to display to show a boundary that you might need to be set. But then it's like you don't necessarily trust how far it might go,
Right.
you know. So you want to suppress it and keep it at bay because it's like, man, if I allow myself to tap into that anger, who knows what I might say, what I might do, how it might influence me, how it might affect me. You know?
And the question I would ask, is it really the anger? What is it that you believe underneath that's really sparking the anger that you're suppressing, that you're holding back on? What is it that you need to be liberated from that's really pushing the anger to be what it is? And like you trying to hold it in, but it's in there. And unfortunately, it's probably sparking your all this internal stuff.
Yeah.
And you just looking for the match.
Yeah. It might be an insecurity, right?
There might be insecurity or fear.
A fear.
Or even knowing that you live in an environment where there's this monster over you at all times. And if you step out of line too far, it's going to let you know that this delusion or this illusion of freedom that you have doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
But so that it could be a number of things, right?
Yeah.
Like for me, you know, when I think about my inner monster, I consider myself to be like Beast from Marvel. And it's like there's all this energy and potential to do good, but then there's this other energy that's a part of I call it shadow, that, you know, I could do some very destructive stuff, but, you know, I check that.
Yeah.
Because I realize that, you know, and I try to figure out how to integrate that energy into my everyday existence, so I don't just keep it hidden, so I'll explode. So because I feel like in individuation, becoming the person that you really want to become, you have to figure out a way to embrace that shadow part of you, that monster part of you.
Right.
Agreed.
Put it out there in your life, because when you keep it pinned up, it's gonna come out and might come out in terrible ways. What
More
would you say?
destructive.
What would you say, my friend?
You know, when I'm thinking about it, like a monster that lives, it's like a lot of that has to do with like my anxiety. That's definitely been a monster for me, right? Because it's just like the fear of the unknown. Like, well, let me not even try. You know what I mean? Because I don't want to like fail, or like, what if I get so far and then, you know, I get to a task and I can't complete it or whatever. So I think like one of the things that I've identified with is like dealing with anxiety and being like, how do I want to like utilize this? You know, what pathway do I want to take, right? Because nobody, I feel like at some point, depending on what happens, everybody experiences moments of anxiousness.
Right, exactly.
Right? But when you have anxiety and it becomes overpowering, where it's like showing up in different domains of your life, and it's like, man, it puts you in a mindset where you almost can't, like, you keep hitting a brick wall. So I think that's a monster that, you know, I've been battling since I was like, you know, 12, 13.
And you know, with this being said, a monster, like when you think about some of the monsters we've talked about, the perception of a monster is one that's a threat.
Yeah.
But many monsters may appear to be a threat, but they are not a threat.
Right.
They just appear because we don't understand it,
Yeah.
right? We don't. We're not, so we don't understand Godzilla. We don't understand. We didn't understand Elphaba. We didn't understand King Kong.
Yeah.
So they're a threat. You know, I'm down. I'm down in South Carolina. I'm walking by this creek and I see a alligator just sitting on the side chilling. It don't act like I'm even there.
Right.
I ain't gonna walk right up on it, but is it really a threat? As long as I don't go messing with it, it's probably not thinking about me, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But
That fear-based thinking, like that false evidence appearing real, right?
Yeah.
Like making it feel like it's, and to kind of piggyback off of what you said, like I can agree with that anxious, anxiety, fear-based monster that might kind of attack me from time to time. And what I've learned for me is it's almost kind of like a signal, like walk towards that to face it, because generally those things that I think, you know, that is too challenging for me to accomplish or to try to achieve is stuff that usually takes me to another level.
Yep,
You know, it's kind of like God presenting that to me in a way where it's like, are you going to trust me in this moment and trust,
that's good.
you know, this opportunity that I'm giving you, or are you going to allow your fear of it to stop you and stop the growth that I have prepared for you?
so speaking of that, I think some of the things that can be monster internally, what can stir the monster energy that might make us aggressive or might make us passive, might be self-doubt, might be shame, might be guilt, negative self-talk. Am I worthy? Am I deserving? Am I lovable? Am I capable? The things we say about ourselves.
All those things.
You know, because a lot of the things that we project off into the world when you think about monsters are the reflection of our fears anyway.
Absolutely.
Or the things that we imagine bad could happen, that comes from our shame, comes from our guilt, comes from our doubt, comes from our past hurts. And it's just being projected in some type of symbol, like Freddy Krueger or Jason, or, you know, or Elphaba or Godzilla or the Scarecrow, right?
Right.
So what we have to do is find what these things mean for us so that we can face the thing, face our internal monster. What's really riding me? Because fears about things could lead to anger. Because if the fear, which is reduced by anxiety, doesn't get addressed, now it's anger. Then it becomes rage. Now I'm the Hulk.
Yeah.
And you know what the Hulk does, right?
Tear and destroy.
Turn green. And destroy things.
Destroy thing. Me Hulk.
Flex power. You know?
That part.
Flex power.
Flex power. So yeah. So I think it's important for us, y'all, if we continue to understand and look at ourselves and know that the inner monster and how to deal with what's brewing there. Because when we do that, it can help us get to a better place.
Right.
Listen, y'all, we're going to continue this discussion. We started it off thinking that we're going to get into a little bit of center stuff, but we kind of stayed on the monsters. But I got to tell you this, Remick was a monster and he evolved from some type of experience. I guess we could say, was he original? We don't know. But somehow he evolved into the thing that he became. But the other thing is, can we be monsters? And what are we going to do about that monster that lives inside of us? Any other thoughts, opinions, ideas?
Oh, sir.
I like what you said about like facing the fear, like, you know, walking towards it, right? It being almost like a signal in our body to be like, oh, this is what needs to be addressed. And there in that space could lie like an opportunity for growth.
Right.
So I think like if you're thinking about it, you know what I'm saying? Because the majority of it, you know, when you really break down anxiety, it exists, you know what I'm saying, in the form of thoughts, right? These are the things that, like you talked about, that automated thinking that you're going through, right? Whether it be negative or positive. So if you take the time to like walk in that space, you know, there's growth there, and then the anxiety reduces, right? You start confirming that, oh, maybe this isn't even something to be scared of. Maybe I could do this differently. You know what I mean? So, you know.
Exactly. And breaking it down into small steps.
Absolutely.
Hey,
measurable steps.
Measurable steps. Well, this was good.
Yeah.
Listen, y'all, if you like us, please like us. Don't forget to subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section. Listen, we're going to be right back with another episode of Therapy is Life, where we're going to continue this discussion.